Big 12 schedule. We know we got 9 opponents ahead of us, so it doesn't matter. At what point you play who, it doesn't really matter. This one happens to be in Lawrence against Kansas. I'm excited about that. Got a lot of familiarity with not only Kansas, but all of the Big 12 going into the 6th year. There's not a whole lot of secrets out there when it comes to us playing them. There's not a whole lot of secrets out there when it comes to them playing us. So we know each other pretty well. I think all of our goal is just line up and play a good football game and put our guys in position to be successful and hopefully come out victorious. Yeah, they're 1-2. I tell you that I know the last 2 games that they've lost have been really competitive, been close games that they just didn't happen to win. I see a Kansas team that has improved over the last couple of years. I think Coach Beatty's an outstanding football coach. Done a great job of building some excitement around their program with recruiting. Doing a good job of getting some really good recruits in there. They do a great job with their staff. Got a lot of great coaches on their staff as well. So this will be a big challenge for us. And I think our guys will be excited about that. I really do. I mean, you can say what you want to. We've done what we're supposed to in the last couple of weeks. Came up short in that first game. Have done what we are supposed to as a football team, as a football program in the last 2 weeks, and we're ready to move on to Big 12 play. That's going to be our motivation. Don't care who, don't care where. It's Big 12 football, and we need to go out and we need to play our best, which is what we're expected to do and what we're expecting to do. Same goes for them. They're gonna say the same thing. They're going to tell their guys this has been one that we've been looking forward to for a long time. So we'll get their absolute best this weekend. We know that. And the thing about them as well too, they got so many new guys. They got some new schemes and some new coaches, but they got a lot of new players. Playing for them. So they're going to get it together at some point. I hope it ain't this weekend. But we got to count on them doing that. So, offensively, Doug Beecham, extremely familiar with him at TCU, doing the same stuff that he did at TCU. He's doing the same stuff that we did at Oklahoma State when he was my inside receiver coach there. So, got a quarterback that can sling it around. Washington State transfer, played at Itawamba Community College there in Mississippi. He's a gunslinger, can throw it all over the place, and they got a lot of receivers that they throw to, you got to defend the run as well. I mean, Meach has always done a good job of making sure he mixes in the run. So they're going to continue to get better on offense based on new offense. They got a plan, and just the timing aspect of a new quarterback throwing with new receivers. I mean, the quarterback's only been there for a few months, so they're going to continue to get better and better. Defensively, looks the same as it's always looked. Clint Bowen's been there for a long time. 1990, I think, is when he's played there. So, been there forever. He got a plan with what he wants to do on defense, and they do a really good job of it. I've sat here in front of y'all for the last 5 years and talked about my respect for Clint Bowen and how good that they are defensively. They've played well defensively in the years that we've played against them. This group of defenders is no different than the ones that we've seen. They got really good players, especially up front. The Armstrong kid, the Wise kid, are 2 as good as we'll see all year. Got very active safeties, linebackers that are solid. And they got a couple of new corners that they got out of the junior college ranks, which we know something about. We know who every junior college corner in the country is, and these are 2 guys that we had our eye on, and they can play. So defensively, they're going to continue to get better and better. Special teams, obviously know a lot about it based on Coach DeForest being here and being there. got a lot of familiarity with what he's doing. Their kicker is new. He's been there, but he's new. But he looks as good as anybody I've seen. Their punter, the same guy that we had last year, does a great job. Their return game is dangerous, and they're very solid with what they do as well. So, can't face an opponent that we know more about. But Coach Beatty's saying the same thing in his press conference right now. Can't face an opponent that they don't, that they could know more about. So, it'll be interesting to see how this goes down. Like I said, we're excited about our week of preparation, flying to Kansas City on Friday, about 45-minute drive on Saturday morning, where we're used to getting up early and going and playing that game at 11 a.m. No different than what we've done here the last 2 weeks and what we've done there the last couple times we've been there. Starting Big 12. Questions?
Is it just TCU's offense, or does he put his own twist on it?
Well, he put his own twist on TCU's offense. Mm-hmm. You can say what you want with co-coordinators or whatever it was. Sonny Cumbie coming from Texas Tech, Leach coming from Oklahoma State. What's the difference? So it looks like TCU may. I think the bigger question is going to be what TCU does right now, which I think is going to be different. But we'll figure that out next week.
And you said before going into that venue, you have to kind of warn your team that the crowd and the kind of lackadaisical atmosphere. Do you still worry about that?
I don't think it'll be like that this time. I can't say I ever really worried about it. It's our job to prepare our guys the best way we can and let them know what the situation is going to be. This is the first time we're playing in September. So, go out there this afternoon, it's going to be 82 degrees. Feel a little wind on top of that, and that's what the conditions are going to be like, which is a far cry from when we played in late November, maybe even early December, I can't even remember at this point, but it'd be more a little bit of a wind chill situation, which kind of shoves fans inside to watch basketball. I think it'd be pretty good there. I do. I think they've been pumping this thing up. So I think there'll be a lot of people there, which would be good. The more, the better. I don't know how that's going to affect us one way or another.
What did you like about Wellman's game Saturday?
His job's to block people, so he's kind of a sixth O lineman up there. Played good. He thumped some people pretty good. We rely on him a lot for inspiration and lead blocking and chopping people down and helping in pass protection. He's doing a really good job of that. We've taken a few special teams reps off of him to enable us to be able to use him more on offense. He's been heavily involved in a lot of our special team stuff previously, where he's not as much moving forward. Did do a great job on that first kickoff return, kicked the guy out. Marcus hit it up in there, so he's involved in that one. Just blocking people, it's as simple as that. He plays with an attitude that's important to him. He's great in the huddle. I've talked a lot about the presence of Will and David in the huddle. Well, he ain't no different. He gets in there and surprises our team captain.
And is the way you're using him significant as far as the way you've changed the offense, or is football changing that way to go to more of a fullback type?
That's a good question. We started doing that 7 years ago. I mean, I never used the fullback ever. Tech, no. Houston, no. Went to Oklahoma State, and started using it a little bit just because I have one there that I like. Came here and that's had a few of those bodies kind of playing around that we use a little bit. But so this is about year 8 for us to do it. You know, and Jake understands that. And he's doing a great job with it. He was with me at Oklahoma State when we kind of started doing that along with Joe Wickline. So you know, we're all here, so we all kind of understand that. You're right though. You see everybody doing it now. You're adding that 6th gap, that 6th body to add gaps, you know, but it's not just a tight end body. It's more of a move around guy that you can do different things with, and you can get incorporated in the pass game a little bit as well. So the answer is both. You know, it's what I want to do. It's what we've been doing, but I see college football heading in that direction as well. Now, are we going to get to a point where you're going to see that guy in a 3-point stance and directly behind the quarterback who's under center with the guy not in the eye? I don't know if we're headed that direction.
Coach, when you talk to players about Will, somewhere in the discussion it usually comes up about the great amount of respect and faith that they have in him. And realistically, the kid's been here a little over a year, didn't play in the game at all last year. So from your viewpoint, how has he been able, you know, kind of behind the scenes kind of thing, how has he been able to come in and win everyone over, so to speak, as quickly as he has?
It's that starting quarterback gene that, you know, in particular, coaches' kids kind of have. You know, it's not about just being out there on the football field or working hard in the weight room, but it's understanding the locker room aspect of it as well, the meeting room aspect of it as well. got a lot of intelligence, a lot of football intelligence. You know, but that starting quarterback gene where people gravitate towards it, knows when to pick people up, knows when to kind of yell at a guy, can sit in front of them in a meeting room and discuss what's happening, you know, on the screen. And guys say, yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. I probably have to listen to him. He's got the ball in his hands. So he just has that.
You mentioned Crawford's consistency yesterday in the call. Is it a matter of him getting a year older? Is it the way you're using it? Is it the passing game? Why is he more consistent so far?
Yeah, we're only 3 games into it. We've had 2 of them under control. You know, we got depth at running back. He's carried it, 14, 15 times a game for 3 games now. That number is going to go up at some point. So, maturity, health, off-season, motivation, knowledge, everything. Like what he's at. He was the best cheerleader on the sidelines on Saturday. He was out there yelling at the defense, you know, the second, third team defensive guys to get off the field, which I thought was pretty cool. So I like where he's at in general. It means a lot to him to play. It means a lot to him to win. He'll do about anything he's got to get that done.
Is your offensive balance where you want to be? I mean, averaging 300 passing, 200 rushing. Obviously, those are good numbers. Is that getting the balance you want? The numbers you want?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Confuses Coach Neal. We've talked about that. He wants that thing about 400. 400 and 200, which would be a lot. That'd be at 600. I mean, he'd probably at least want to reverse 300 rushing, 200, right? Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really hard. You know, I mean, we're going to continue to force runs. You know, even when they're clearly taking the run away, just because a lot of up tempo. That's who we are. But opens up big plays too. And I think the reason why our passing game numbers, yardage wise, is as high as it is because of all the big plays that we've had. We're calling run quite a bit, even if we're throwing it out there on the perimeter for various reasons, we're calling it.
How much interaction do you have with the coaching?
Well, not as much as I would like, for a bunch of different reasons, but he pops in a good bit. He gave up a long time ago on me and the whole rent deal thing. No, I mean, that's, initially, he didn't talk to me the first 2 years, but then saw the transition a little bit and started talking. And I was probably not talking anymore.
Coach, you kind of brushed by Kansas a little bit. Is there any one player out there in Lawrence that you think might give WV a little trouble on Saturday?
Yeah, the Sims kid, the receiver, is really a good player. He impresses you a good bit. And, their one back, 24, has been hurt, but he's a good player. And the quarterback's going to get better and better. Those two D linemen are really good. Number 11, the safety, is a really good player. That's not, we're not even counting the guy that leads the Big 12 in tackles. The Willie linebacker, 29, who was hurt last year, didn't play. I hate singling out a few of them because if I didn't mention them, it's going to give that specific kid motivation to play good. But yeah, there's some guys that really stand out.
You mentioned that the number of carries will probably go up at some time for Crawford. What's optimum for him in a close, hard-fought ball game? I mean, where you would think you'd get your most production from him.
I don't know. I mean, I've said the days of 28 carry, backs are done, and then you give it to Crawford 28 times and he goes for 200-300 yards against Baylor and Oklahoma. So the dad, he can handle that. The danger in that is what his body's going to be like the next week and the next week. And we're fortunate to have, Kennedy will be back, ready to roll. Petaway looked good. We got two other guys that can. What you got to figure out is, the coaches, if you hand it to your starter 22, 23 times, are you better off handing it to 32, 7 more times? So that's just something we gauge. We chart how many times each of these guys have touched the ball, how many snaps that they play. Skill guys offensively, we chart it on the sidelines. And I go and talk after every series about who I think needs to touch the ball and who I think needs to play with. Just to try to spread things out to keep guys fresh in the fourth quarter, but also to keep them healthy throughout the course of the season. And Dorchester does a great job of tracking player participation. Our numbers are really even. Where last year they were really top heavy, right now they're pretty even. That's everything, special teams, amount of snaps in general.
Lynn Felder, notice he's back on the scene. What's the situation?
Yeah, all those guys will practice today. That doesn't mean they'll play. We got to wait and see how practice goes. So all those long-term guys will be out there. Toya Savory, David Long, Grant, Butch Grossi, all those guys are real close. We'll practice them today. And wait and see how they do today and tomorrow. They're for sure going to be on the plane. We'll just have to wait and see how that looks.
Obviously, Hayden Bender has a Mike Leach background. Is he a classic Mike Leach quarterback? And do you talk to him, maybe the coach, about what he saw in him to begin with?
Not him specifically. The Mike Leach classic quarterback is a guy that sits in the pocket and throws it 90 times a game. Capable of doing that. This kid's capable of doing that. That's what he wants to do. So he wants to stay in the pocket and wants to throw that thing all over the place. So that's what we're preparing for.
Danny, so
I've
many,
learned my lesson. Washington State's playing well. We want them to keep winning. Because the more they win, the weirder he gets. I love him. He's the best. His press conferences are a lot more entertaining than mine.
you see his alien thing?
Oh, I've seen it all. I've seen it all before y'all seen it. Reason why I haven't read his books, I lived it.